So here we have it, the all-new iPhone 16. This is the 6.1-inch version, the base model, in the all-new ultramarine color. Pretty much it's just a very saturated yet pastel blue. I really like the finish of it, and this is just a photo on the box, so we don't really know what it looks like until we open it up. But pretty straightforward packaging design. On the side it says iPhone in the same sort of blue color. Then we have the Apple logo on the bottom, same thing, yada yada yada. Overall, very straightforward and simple design, as you would expect with any Apple product. And with Apple's goal of reducing carbon emissions, they've been simplifying a lot of their packaging. So as you can see, there's no more plastic wrapping, and it's just these stickers over here, which we've seen for the past few generations. And also even the contents inside of the box have become a lot more simplified. So we're gonna be seeing less paper, less plastics, etc., etc. So this is the base model, which comes with 128 gigabytes of storage. So let's crack this thing open and see what it's all about. We're gonna go ahead and peel off these little stickers up top. Just like that. Another one on the bottom. Alrighty, so now for the moment of truth. Whew, look at that beauty. My goodness. Here's a quick comparison of the color that is printed on the box versus the actual phone. You can see that the one on the phone is much more vibrant, as to be expected. Really cool how they're able to actually get the scale of this thing to be exact on the photo. But yeah, wow, this thing is absolutely stunning. Very, very beautiful and very deep blue. The camera area is a little bit darker and more saturated compared to the frosted glass on the back. And we're gonna just take this out of the box for the time being and put this aside. Inside, we have this charging cable, just like that. We don't have any bricks anymore. It's just a cable, and I do like how it is braided. It's gonna be a lot more durable. It's not gonna start ripping at you like the silicone versions. And then we have our paperwork in here, which that's pretty much it. Very simple, straightforward, kind of in this pill design, which is interesting. All we really get is just 2 pieces of paper, no more stickers, which is a little bit sad, I gotta say. It'll be really cool if they were to create some, color match stickers that they can include in here, but pretty much just one card talking about the connectivity. It says you no longer need a physical SIM card, activate the eSIM, etc., etc. So there are no SIM cards left. And then we have just another packet here for all the warranty information, legal documents and whatnot. So yeah, that is pretty much everything that comes in the box, just the charging cable, the phone itself, and some paperwork. So as you can see, they really cut down on, the materials that they use, getting rid of any excess things that you don't need. So here we have the iPhone 16, very gorgeous finish. And we have kind of a matte finish on the sides now, rather than a glossy one. Oh my goodness, so satisfying. Wow, look at that. So overall, first impressions, just holding it in my hand is very comfortable. It just feels nice and smooth. They do have rounded off edges that we've seen starting from the iPhone 15. So that's nice that they kept that design, because it does really add to the comfort aspect. If you've seen my review of the iPhone 15, you would know that you can't really stand it on its edge anymore like this, because it'll tip over. So I wouldn't suggest doing that. I'm gonna go ahead and power this on and set this thing up with you guys. Now, as we're setting this phone up, I do wanna compare it to a couple of the mock-ups that I had from a previous video. So here we have the iPhone 16 mock-up. This is the dummy model that came out a few weeks ago, and this is the official one. And just comparing it side by side, there are some noticeable differences right off the bat. First of all, the actual Apple logo on the dummy model is so faint that the camera can't even pick it up, versus the actual one where it's much more noticeable. That was one of the things that I picked up. It's nice that we can actually see the real logo on here with the differences between the glossy and the matte finish. Comparing the sides, everything is pretty accurate, I gotta say. We have the sleep button right here, and then we have the new camera button, which Apple is actually very hesitant on calling it a button. They want to call it like a taptic or haptic feedback switch and whatnot, camera switch. But this essentially is controlling all the new camera features, where you can press it, that will activate the camera no matter which application you're on. And you can also slide it to make any sort of controls and whatnot. The top, everything looks pretty much identical with the antenna band. Left side, oh, we do have a difference on the left, as you can see. So this layout over here is exactly the same, where we have our volume rockers and this action switch, which is programmable. I do notice on a dummy model, it's a little bit smaller per button, whereas the official one, it's much more thicker and a little wider, which gives it a little bit more, feeling to be able to press it. Now the dummy model surprisingly has a SIM card layout over here, a SIM card tray. The official one doesn't, so I'm not sure if this dummy model was based off of an international version for other countries, but that is one observation that I've noticed, that the real one does not have a SIM card tray. The bottom is pretty straightforward, same situation, we have the USB-C charging, and we have our speakers and our microphone and antenna band. But yeah, overall, the dummy model versus the official phone is pretty accurate, besides minor little changes and whatnot. So overall, I think they nailed it. Now comparing it quickly to the Pro models as well as the Plus model over here, these are just dummy ones. We will be getting our hands on the official iPhone 16 Pro as well. It's just coming in a few days. Comparing it to the Pro model, we will be getting 3 cameras for the Pros, obviously. And the new Pros actually have made some changes from their dimensions, so it might be a little bit hard to tell, but the new Pros are ever so slightly taller than the standard ones, so about a few millimeters, just like that. But in terms of its width, this way, it doesn't really have any differences. It's pretty flush, but all the layouts and the buttons are pretty much the same, where you have your sleep button, your new camera switch that they want to call it, and all of this is pretty much the same. Yet again, the dummy model is featuring a SIM card tray, which I don't know why, but we'll have to see the real version. The same situation kind of applies with the Plus model. So we have the 16 Plus and the 16 Pro Max. And when you compare these head to head, the Pro model is still slightly taller. So we should be able to see that sort of consistency with the real ones. But anyways, let's set this baby up and kind of walk you through what the setup process is like. We're going to select English, United States, and here we can adjust our appearance. So I do notice the screen is quite dark, so right out of the box. Obviously we can adjust it, but based on the current configuration, it does seem a little dull, I gotta say. So over here we can adjust, how we want our text to be or how our icons are gonna look. I'm gonna leave it on the default setting. Quick start, we're just gonna skip that. We're gonna go without Wi-Fi. Nope, skip right through. And now it is activating. You can always set it up however you want. I just want to quickly go through it just so I can kind of get to the home screen as quickly as I possibly can. But yeah, overall, the fit and finish of the iPhone 16 is quite nice. I actually do really like this new camera layout where it's vertical. It kind of reminds me of the iPhone 10. I'm not really a big fan of the triple layout. It just looks a little much to me personally. And also I'm not really a fan of the diagonal cameras either. So I actually really enjoy this sort of style, and I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about it. Some people don't like it. It is quite huge as well. Yeah, for the dummy models, it's a little bit smaller. Look at that. Look at the dimensions here versus here. It's a lot bigger per lens, and also the actual surrounding is much larger as well. In terms of the flash is slightly bigger as well. I'm not sure if the new iPhones require you to activate like a cellular network in order to use it. I know some iPhones require that, some of them don't. With it being the base model, it does not come with the Pro Motion display. You will have to opt for the Pro models to get that. But regardless, we do get an OLED display along with this new pill design. So this used to be exclusive to a lot of the Pro models. A lot of the base models still kept that notch. But it's great to see that they actually implemented that into the base models. We're gonna continue through with this menu. Set up later, passcode, we're gonna offer no passcode. Don't transfer anything, agree, yada, yada, yada. All right, so now it's asking if I wanna update the iPhone automatically. I'll just click continue for the time being. And just kind of skip through all of these different options. Set up later, skip. So now we have our screen time menus, which we're gonna yet again skip through, don't share. And we have 3 different display options, whether light, dark, or auto. We'll leave it on light for the time being. Continue, silent mode, we'll continue with that as well. Now it's doing a quick tutorial on how the action button works. You can always program this to whatever you want. We're not gonna customize that for the time being. Camera control, this is the new feature. This is the big feature that is really different in the iPhone 16. where you can press this button and slide it across to make your adjustments and whatnot. So it's really cool how they're kind of walking you through all of the features that are new on here. And here we are. Welcome to iPhone. And this is the new home screen layout. So like I said, this is the base model, so there is no Pro Motion display. And to be honest, it doesn't really feel that bad. There is a slight, sort of blurriness when you kind of go back and forth like this, but it's very unnoticeable. So if you're wondering if you're really missing out on much without the Pro Motion display, I gotta say it's pretty usable. You don't really notice it that much. But overall, the phone just feels extremely fluid. I do want to try out this new camera switch. So we're gonna press this one time. Here we go. And now we are in the camera. And this should be able to just slide. If you can just press it, and as you can see, you can control how it behaves with the zooming, the exposures and whatnot. There's a lot of different settings that you can play with. But yeah, I still gotta get familiar with this phone, and I wanted to definitely do a more in-depth review of the iPhone 16, a day in the life, comparing it with the Pro model. So just overall first impressions, I gotta say, this phone is very straightforward to use, just to set up. If you're familiar with the Apple ecosystem, you would not really have any issues with, getting to know how the phone works. This is 128 gigabytes, and the only available storage is 110 gigabytes because the rest will be going to the OS software. But pretty much every iPhone release every year is not that crazy. It's just a slight bump up in performance, a slight bump up with the camera quality. Sometimes they'll add a new feature, like the iPhone 15 is the first time they introduced this action button, and the iPhone 16 now introduced this new camera button here. So yeah, other than that, a lot of it is still pretty much the same. We are rocking the A18 chip, which is a 6-core CPU, 5-core GPU, a 16-core neural engine. If you were to opt for a Pro model, you do get one extra core for the GPU, so you can have a little bit better graphics performance. But yeah, the purpose of the iPhone 16 and the biggest thing that Apple is talking about is Apple Intelligence. And Apple Intelligence is not actually out yet, it's just in its development stage. And it will be coming to iOS 18 via a software update. Now, one of the big hardware changes about the base model phones is that they added 8 gigabytes of RAM. So typically, comparing a base model to a Pro model, you would get a higher spec for the Pro models. But now the base model and the Pro models have the same amount of RAM. But yeah, overall first impressions of the iPhone 16, I gotta say that it's pretty nice. I do like this new camera layout. I do like the new colors, and the overall fit and finish is just really, really premium, like you would expect with any Apple product. So yeah, hopefully this video was able to give you an idea of what the overall setup process is like, the unboxing. We will be doing a more in-depth review and testing of this thing, of the cameras, of the gaming performance. So if you guys are interested in seeing a more in-depth review or breakdown of the iPhone 16, make sure to drop a like and a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as well as turning on the post notifications to see when I upload. In just a few minutes, I'm gonna be making another video kind of featuring a whole bunch of new case options for the iPhone 16. So if you guys wanna deck out your phone, customize it, put some new cases on it, stay tuned for that video. I will be leaving it in the description below if you guys want to check that out. But with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.